Hope and Crafty Hope, and I am doing another ornament tutorial. How about that? I am going to try to participate in the Art Elements ornament hop thing. I'll put a link below to it. But for now, let me show you what I've got. I did draw out a quick sketch of what I thought I wanted. This is from like weeks ago, but I'm running behind on getting this done and just ready to get it done. So what I have here is some sheet music, some lace and sari silk and rickrack, just some random stuff I had around, a wooden spool, a chandelier crystal, some mother of pearl buttons. This is gold tone wire. I think it's in about a 24 gauge, but it doesn't really matter. Anything probably 20 and down would probably work for this. Mod Podge, paintbrush, a little thing of water to rinse my brush, scissors, and then some jewelry pliers. I've got some wire cutters, round nose pliers, and chain nose pliers. So that's what I've got. I may fast forward through this whole process and talk over it, and we'll see. So we're gonna get started here in just a second. I started with the sheet music, and it worked out great because the bars on the sheet music really gave me a gauge for where to cut with the scissors. And where it didn't fit, I could just cut another line down and another line down, and that really helped because I had to keep cutting it down over and over again to finally get it to fit inside that spool. But you could do the same thing with like a dictionary paper where you would cut, the lines of the words down little by little, and that would work just as well. I put the Mod Podge straight on my nonstick craft sheet and applied that directly into that inside of the spool and wrapped the paper right around, leaving a little bit of overlap, and then I trimmed it off and painted the Mod Podge over the entire paper just to kind of seal it. And I used matte because I didn't want anything too shiny, but if you did want a bit of more shine, a shiny Mod Podge would work. And from there, I just cleaned up my space to kind of move on to the next step, which was taking my chandelier crystal and my gold tone wire and clipping it. And I clipped about probably 12 to 16, 18 inches somewhere in there, enough that I knew I had plenty, and kind of estimated the center and looped the wire in the center around my round nose pliers and slid on that crystal. Then I just twisted a couple times, 2 or 3 times from there to make, my chandelier hanger. Next came the part with the lace. Now, I just took several lengths of excess old lace and rickrack, and I think I've got some sari silk in there, and just estimated what I need because I knew I could trim it later, and clipped that all and gathered it all together in one little pile. And from there, I kind of again found the center of each of those pieces of lace and inserted them right into that V of the wire. You see where it's twisted just above there. I just put the lace in there. Now, I tried to squeeze it in there as tight as possible because I don't want that to accidentally slip out later. So I just held it in place with my fingers and packed it in as tight as possible, and then twisted again several times, enough that it would hold and be good and tight on the fibers. Now I laid it up from there and grabbed my buttons. I wanted a button that would cover the hole but not overlap the top of the spool. And I slid on I had a 2-hole button and just put one end of each wire in there and slid it to the bottom where it touches the lace. Then put both of the ends of the wire into the spool and top that with another 2-hole button. Again, something that would cover that spool hole but not overlap too much over the top of the wood on the spool. And I tried to make sure that the outside of the button, the part that shows, is what was on the outside on both that bottom and top button. Again, I twisted the wire together, and this I twisted probably, about 2 inches or so to get a nice tight twist and length on there. You can see it twisted, twist, 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 which took forever. And then I trimmed just below where that split. And then I bent down the end of that wire on itself to avoid having that really prickly part there. So I'm trying to show that to you. And then bent it over my round nose pliers just to make a little hook. I could have looped that to hang a ribbon with, but I figured it was fine just like that as a hook. From there, I kind of spread it out and looked at it and decided that it needed to be trimmed. So I cleared some of the excess stuff off my desk and just kind of decided which pieces of that lace were too long and trimmed it down. Now, I didn't want any of them shorter than, or too many of them shorter than the crystal, but I didn't want them to hide it too much. And then holding it up, I was able to see even better which ones were kind of wonky and too long. And I tried to trim these at an angle so they wouldn't fray too much, and it gives them a little bit of textural interest with that angle cut on there. So, and I squeezed and bunched and looked at it, and I thought, well, that's it. So there's my ornament made with some lace and spool and all of that, and I hope you've enjoyed this process. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all those things. Thanks so much, guys. Merry Christmas.